That is Aaron Hughes and the Queen Street Band. Good morning. How is everyone this morning? Awesome. Awesome. Well, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Toronto. My name is Jonathan Zenz. I am the spiritual director here. So I told you a couple weeks ago I was no longer doing announcements, and I'm not doing announcements, but there are two announcements that need to... Go with me on this. There are two announcements that need to be addressed, so I'm going to invite Mr. Tony Matthews to the stage to make some announcements.
Hi, how are you this morning?
Hi, Mr. Matthews.
Don't worry, this shouldn't take more than 45 minutes. Kidding. So two things. We had a board meeting this past week. It was wonderful, as is always. I appreciate our board for all the work they do to help make sure things keep moving along. Thank you very much, Fran. One of the things they do is they keep up everything that's legal and appropriate so that we do everything the way it's supposed to be done in the province of Ontario. And one of the things we do is we keep our minutes and stuff like that. What we're looking for is we'd like to see if there's anyone in our congregation who would love to join us as a recording secretary. This isn't a position on the board. This is a service position. What's the Sava? Seva, sacred service. This is a service position to come to our meetings, help us record, or even we can work out the details because you may not have to be at the meetings to help us do the recording and stuff like that. So if you would be interested in helping us with that, with dedicating that part of a little bit of your time to come help us once a month, that would be great. Please speak to either myself, Margaret Ann, or Reverend Jonathan, if you want to talk to him. I don't know where that came from. I'm in front of people with a microphone. People, this is not safe. You need to be aware of that.
He'll be here all week.
Yeah. So two ministers walk into a bar. I have no idea. I wasn't there. So the second thing... The second thing is the end of the month, over the holiday weekend, is the Toronto Pride Festival. Woohoo! So we have a booth available to us for that weekend, and we want to put in a presence for the Center for Spiritual Living to let people in our community know we're here and that we're accepting and we're a fun place to be and that they can listen in. And so that's, you know why we're there. I don't have to explain that part. But I do have to explain we need to get some volunteers who can come and help us man the booth and attend and just be themselves and, express the joy you express when you come here. So if you'd be interested in doing that, that is the weekend of the 29th and 30th, Saturday and Sunday. Exact hours and stuff like that, we'd work out once we understand who we have available to us. But if you're interested in that, we actually have to move kind of quickly. So if you could speak to me after today's service, I will be hiding up in the booth or hanging out in the front. Please, and if you have to run out, just pass me a note and I'll call you or something like that. But we want to get that set up right away so we can see what sort of presents we're going to have and we can make it a nice, big, fun, exciting weekend and everyone can do their little part and not have to do the whole part. And it's going to be great. It's really going to be fun. That's all I had. Any other questions? Any other jokes? I should stop now, shouldn't I? Yeah. Thank you very much.
So like I said, I am no longer doing announcements. Because that's infinitely more entertaining. So here we are. We're at the Center for Spiritual Living Toronto. We are a spiritual community, and we are here for a purpose. Really only one purpose. To celebrate. Yes, we're here to celebrate. What are we here to celebrate? Don't everybody talk at once. Silence. We're here to celebrate silence. Well, I know what I'm here to celebrate. I'm here to celebrate the understanding that there is only one thing going on. There's only one thing going on. That is the divine energy of the universe in constant creation. And it is creating by means of you, it's creating by means of me, it is creating by means of all of humanity, it's creating by means of our thought process, and it is creating based on our belief system. So everything that shows up in your life is a perfect demonstration in form of what's happening in your belief system. And we get to celebrate this with the understanding that if we like what's happening, we can create more of it, and if we don't like what's happening, we can recreate it. How does that sound? Awesome. Awesome. So one of the ways that we celebrate this is by reading together our Declaration of Principles, which can be found on the back of your songbook. Very, very back. Right there. So share with me as we read this together. I believe in one living spirit, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. I believe this one manifests itself in and through all creation. I believe in the individualization of the Spirit, and that all people are individualizations of the one Spirit. I believe that heaven is within, and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. I believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. I believe in the eternality, immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul forever and ever expanding. I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. That is the great joy of this divine energy. Whether you call it God, whether you call it Spirit, whether you call it Joe, whatever you call it, you can call it whatever you want. It is always there to give of itself, and it gives of itself by means of creation. And I think that for me, that is the ultimate loving act. So if there's ever any doubt in your mind that love exists, understand that love exists because that is the very nature of this energy, to give of itself. Right? Yeah. Here to take us a little bit further down that road of inspiration, I'm going to invite to the lectern our practitioner of the day, Margaret Ann Snyder.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Margaret Ann.
Okay. I have a short reading and then an affirmation or a contemplation for your week. From the Science of Mind, Ernest writes, "We should grow into the understanding that spirit responds to us and becomes more conscious of its presence within us. It is the very breath of our breath, the imagination back of our word. It is the creative power in our thought and the law and energy that executes that thought. God is in all, over all, and through all. There can be no greater or more complete allness. This allness is within us, or we may say that within is the only place we can contact it. It is necessary to understand this, else sometimes we shall be trying to reach outside, and this is impossible." And the contemplation for the week. As I turn within, I recognize the infinite, loving, peaceful presence of divinity. This peaceful, loving presence fills my being and overflows into my life and affairs. If you'd like to say that with me. As I turn within, I recognize the infinite, loving, peaceful presence of divinity. This peaceful, loving presence fills my being and overflows into my life and affairs. Thank you. And so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Margaret Ann. Stay right where you are. Allow that affirmation. I'm going to ask you to just read it again. I'm going to invite everyone to actually, it's funny that you read this thing about recognizing that which is within. So I'm going to invite everybody. This is not something you hear me say often. I'm going to invite everyone to turn within and recognize the core of your beingness, being that loving presence. And as you turn within, if it's comfortable, you can close your eyes. and just breathe into this knowing, breathe into this understanding right here and now, and simply hear these words.
As I turn within, I recognize the infinite, loving, peaceful presence of divinity. This peaceful, loving presence fills my being and overflows into my life and affairs.
So just take that in. Take in the energy of what has just been read. Resolutely, firmly entrenched in this concept is your entire life. And as you take this forward into your experience, you begin to recognize on the faces of every single person you see that God is fully present. And so we'll sing together if you'd like. You can keep your eyes closed if you like. But if you want to sing along with You Are the Face of God, it is on page 2. So just breathe into that. Simply relaxing right where you are. Letting it fill you. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
And as I am in the stillness, in this place of receptivity and love, I open myself to this perfect idea that I am one with God. In this place of oneness, I live my life. I create this beautiful expression that is me. And I share it openly and freely with each and every person, with each and every experience and circumstance. I share this love and this peace that is my center, my home, my truth. I share, as I give and I receive, this infinite love, this infinite joy, this infinite beauty that is present absolutely everywhere. I share it, and I love it. I relish it. I revel in it. I laugh and I dance in it, as it. I am the expression of God. I am the love of God. And I express this openly, freely, with so much joy, with so much beauty. I recognize that I am. I recognize that I am this infinite truth, this infinite love, and this pure light of possibilities. I am love, and I allow it to flow, and I let it be. I experience this love and this joy as divine energy, as divine creation, as divine creativity. I am perfect. I am wholesome, and I am complete. In this present moment, I live as one. I live as the one. And I express openly and freely, divinely, knowing that I am. In gratitude for this realization, for this recognition, I release this to the law of mind, knowing that it happens and manifests through me perfectly. in grace and in ease. In gratitude, I release and I let go. And together we say, and so it is.
You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are my family. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
So breathe right into that understanding. Take a look at your neighbor and recognize the face of God in the neighbor, in your neighbor, in everyone in this room. I don't usually do that. But sometimes it's important for me to have a remembrance and a recollection and to remind myself in these moments that every single person I encounter is the face of God. So as I look at you, that's all I see. That's all I see. And I'm so blessed and so grateful for you as this community. So I say thank you for that. So here to take us even further down that road of understanding and contemplation is Pierre Gautreau and the Queen Street Band with Pierre's original song, Pack It Up.
1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes it just sticks around, even though it's nowhere to be found. Keep pulling the past into our present now. You think that we'd have learned somehow. Pack it up and seal it tight. Send your baggage on a one-way flight. On a one-way flight. On a one-way flight. Out of your mind sight. Here's the thing we have to know. Deal with it, then let it go. When the bags are too heavy, we can't take flight. Keep only what you need to make you soar with your inner light. There are no victims, only volunteers who live anywhere but right now, right here. Pack it up and seal it tight. Send your baggage on a one-way flight. On a one-way flight. Don't look back, out straight ahead. Reliving the past will mess with your head. Stay in the moment, breathe real deep. Peace of mind is what you'll reap. tide. Send your baggage on a one-way flight. On a one-way flight. On a one-way flight. Fall out of your mind's sight. Here's the thing we have to know. Deal with it, then let it go.
That's Pierre Gautreau and the Queen Street Band. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That's awesome. Ah, yes. All right. All right. All right. Follow me. Coming over here for just a moment. Because inevitably it's always something that strikes me, right? Here's the thing that strikes me. Oh, here's the thing that strikes me today. There are no victims, only volunteers. There are no victims, only volunteers. How does that apply in your life right now? Just think about some place in your life where you might at some point, sometime way in the past, might have felt like a victim. Is there anyone here who has never, ever felt like a victim at any point ever in their lives? There are no victims, only volunteers. At some point, if you are feeling as though you have been a victim in the past, because it's all in the past now, really recognize that. It is all in the past now. Right in this moment, you cannot be victim to anything if you decide not to be victim to anything. And if you decide, see, it's a decision, if you decide to be victim to some circumstance in your life, to something showing up in your life, you have just volunteered and said, hello, yes, I will allow myself now to be a victim. It just really struck me today. Not at all what I had planned on talking about, but there it is, right? Because I trust that Spirit is always, always working through in this moment for the highest good of the entire community. There are no victims, only volunteers. So here's the thing we have to know. Deal with it, then let it go. Such a great lyric. It's a very powerful song. And I will tell you, go today. I'm going to give him just some words of advice. Go today and sign up for livingsocial.com. It's kind of like Groupon. What came into my mailbox today was a 2-hour recording session for $46. Yes, because this definitely has to be on your album. Wow, I'm jazzed. I am jazzed. So here's what I know. When intelligence makes a demand upon itself, when intelligence, now we talk about the concept of God, we talk about the concept of Spirit intuiting through us. Divine intelligence is the creative source of the entire universe. When that intelligence makes a demand upon itself, which is all it can ever do, it cannot make demands upon anything else. It can only make demands upon itself because that's all that exists. Is this divine intelligence. There is nothing else. If we believe that God's source intelligence, whatever you call it, if we believe that it is infinite, any place where we think it is not, we are wrong. Because if it's not, if we think it's not here, then it can't possibly be infinite. When divine intelligence makes a demand upon itself, it answers its own demand out of its own nature and cannot help doing so. It answers, hear that, it answers its own demand out of its own nature and cannot help doing so. This is, by the way, I'm doing a quote of Ernest Holmes, if you hadn't picked up on that. What that means is, when intelligence makes a demand, when intelligence makes a decision, when intelligence says, this is the way it is, it answers its own demand. It creates based on that idea, and it must create. It cannot not create, ever. We are constantly in a flow of creation. We are constantly in a flow of something new, of something showing up in our experience. And we are the intelligence individualized. So when I talk about, like I said at the beginning of the service, when I talk about we are creating our own lives, that's what I mean. Everything that shows up in your experience is intelligence making a demand upon itself on the individualized level. It must show up then. This is what Dr. Holmes, you know what? I love it. So for a long time I was taught, hello, Margaret Ann. For a long time I was taught to never refer to Dr. Ernest Holmes as Ernest. And I'm changing my mind around that now. Mostly because of the Essential Ernest Holmes, the book that we studied. Because in the book, it says very specifically, he loved being called Ernest. He, if we say Dr. Holmes, then we're almost putting him up on a pedestal. And we actually don't, we work not to do that within this philosophy, because there is infinite intelligence that is flowing through every single one of us. And if we single him out, and we begin to, what's the word, covet, idolize, we're off base. He was a man who had brilliant, brilliant wisdom. But what he taught is that every single one of us has that infinite wisdom within us. And when we tap into it, we are the point at which wisdom is fully, fully flowing. The wisdom of the divine, the infinite wisdom, flows fully through each and every one of us. And he believed that to be true. He did not believe he was set apart from the rest, because he really understood. That's great. We are in the now. He truly understood and embodied this thing called unity, which is there is no separation. There is no separation. All right, it's going to drive me nuts. Remind me to turn this back on. Oh. I will figure that out one of these days. Soon. Today. I will figure it out today. Because when intelligence makes a demand upon itself, it answers its own demand out of its own nature and cannot help doing so. There's another way of understanding this. And this is one of the things I love that he wrote. He puts this in the glossary of the science of mind. He wrote this. Another way of understanding this is by saying, when we needed fingers, we grew them. That's evolution. When it became a requirement, it happened. When we needed an opposable thumb, it happened. So, what are you creating in your life? And are you doing so allowing the infinite wisdom of the intelligent universe to flow through you? Let's just take a breath. Recognize that there is perfection embodied in everything we experience at all times. So we honor and know the presence of the divine fully formed and expressing in all experience at all times. No matter what we think the circumstances look like. This is actually a great lesson. because there are plenty of people who would, and I don't mean to single her out, right? For those of you who are online, we've just had an interesting little moment happen in the service. There are plenty of people who might walk down the street, see her, and not recognize the face of God. It is up to us, every single one of us, to recognize the face of God in every single person we see, regardless of the circumstances that are showing up, because circumstances are just circumstances. When we hold all humanity up to that high understanding and we recognize the face of God, we shift the entire world. So let's just honor that right here and right now. Now, each and every one of us is on a pathway of eternal evolution, always unfolding into greater expressions of the divine by means of our experience. Now, one of the great things that I love is that we all get to have experience. Isn't experience fun? And I love being present in every moment. Now, am I always present in every single moment? Oh, see, now the minister is going to tell you that he may be off principle once in a while. Shocker. You know what? Actually, was it you who said this to me earlier? I can't remember. I apologize to the person who did say this. I think it was you, Fred, who said, you know, ministers are still human. But we are human, divine beings. We're divine beings having human experiences, and occasionally you may find me, you know. Oh, no, it was Stephen. It was Stephen. You said that to me. I remember now. Yeah, it all comes back to me. It was only like 20 minutes ago. Right in this present moment, who are you? For the only time that I ever go off track is when I start to fret about the future or have any regret about the past. Because if I really stop and understand that God is flowing through me and through all of you, when we stop and step into that understanding, everything flows fully, perfectly, brilliantly, from a place of love right in this moment, and this is the only moment that exists. And it is always unfolding into greater expressions of itself and into a greater expression of itself. We are on an upward spiral, every single one of us, to greater experience and greater living, no matter what the circumstances look like. For it is up to every single one of us to rise above the circumstances of our life, recognizing that they have no power except the power that we give to them. And that's when you become a victim, when you give power to the circumstances out here. And in that decision, you have volunteered for the experience of that. It's what we get into this whole jargony place. It's actually what we call secondary cause. Because there is first cause, and that is the infinite intuiting through the human divine being. That is first cause, always, and it's always flowing whether we're aware of it or not. When we look at the circumstances of our life and we say, oh my gosh, this must be a bad thing, or even this is a great thing, and we allow it to create cause for us, so we either get more of the bad or more of the good, that is what we call secondary causation. Where we've made a decision about something outside of the self, we have given power over to it, and it starts to show up in our experience. We get more of it or more of it. Destructive, constructive. Which are you going to choose today? Which are you going to choose today? Because in every given situation, whatever is showing up at any time, you are making decisions, whether you are aware of them or not, about how to respond and how to create that secondary cause. And it's either going to be constructive or destructive. So if you want more of the constructive in your life, then really start to understand that everything that shows up is for your highest good. If something shows up and it feels not so great, recognize that what is happening to you is happening through you and for you. Now, does this mean, because I want to clarify, does this mean that we have to accept everything as it comes, even if we feel like it sucks. And I will use the word sucks. How many of you have experienced something in your life that sucks? Recognize that you are not victim to it. Any of it. And in the moment when you recognize that something is happening in your experience, you can recreate the experience by thinking and believing something new. So, as we experience this eternal evolution, this upward spiral, we, I believe, begin to truly, truly come into harmony with the experience of the one becoming the one. The one, God, the infinite intelligence of the universe, expressing, that's what I mean by becoming the one within the self. Evolution is a continual process of awakening. And every single one of us is on this consistent journey of awakening more and more to the divinity within. So, it evolves. How many of you got the Friday newsletter? You probably looked at the talk title and said, what the heck is that? The talk title today is It Evolves, WIT. It, capital I, capital T, just want to be clear, capital I, capital T evolves, WIT, capital W, capital I, capital T. I wish I had a screen now, I could, So here is it. It is intelligent thought. It is the individual tendency. It is infinite truth. Get it? Intelligent thought evolves. Your individual tendency evolves. The infinite truth evolves. We are in a constant flow of evolution all the time, no matter what. That's what I mean by it. We even call the divine, we refer to it as the thing itself. We often refer to it by saying, it is an intelligence. We don't say, he is an intelligence, because that's something out there. It, and it is flowing through each and every one of us. It evolves by means of us and is constantly recreating itself by means of us. So, where, if this is the truth, intelligent thought devolves. That's a good one. Intelligent thought evolves, the opposite of devolves. Intelligent thought evolves. Individual tendency evolves. Do you know what I mean by that? Every single one of us has a tendency of belief in mind. This has been kind of like what I've been talking about a lot lately, is when we want to change our lives, we must change the tendency of our thought, not just the one thing out here. When we change the tendency of our thought, our entire life shifts. So individual tendency evolves. Infinite truth evolves. So what demand, and I'm talking about a demand, what demand have you placed upon the universe lately? Can you bring something to mind that is a demand that you have placed upon the universe? Now, here's the next question. Was there any doubt behind that demand? Any doubt whatsoever? The smallest little inkling of doubt. Somewhere in there, was there any doubt? Because here's what I will tell you. If there was any doubt, it was not a demand. It was a nice idea. It was a wish. It was a hope. If there's any doubt, it's not a demand. Now, the universe reacts intelligently to the demands placed upon it. So if you are truly stepping into making a demand of the universe, it must show up. I've recently watched a dear friend of mine make a demand upon the universe, and There has been absolutely zero room for doubt in her experience. Well, it's actually a couple. It's Reverend Rita Andriello and Reverend Patrick Farron. I went to ministerial school with them. When I left Southern California and moved here, Reverend Rita actually took over as the administrator of the center that I was with, where I had worked as the administrator for 6 years while I was becoming a minister. She became the administrator there. She made a demand upon the universe. She made a decision to open a center in Kauai, to lift everything up. She'd lived in Southern California for, probably 2 decades. She decided to recreate her entire life. She made a demand upon the universe that said, this is what I require in my experience. Her husband, Reverend Patrick Farron, and she made the decision to lift up their lives, move to Hawaii, onto the island of Kauai, to open a brand new center. Now, there's a lot that goes with opening a brand new center. First of all, they're going to a place they have never lived before. They basically know no one. That can be a little daunting. To say, we're going to go and create community where we know no one. Think about that. How many of us would have the willingness to step into that? 100%. Now, here's why I know that it is the perfect right thing for her and her husband in their experience. Because when she made the demand, the universe conspired to make it happen. Everything in their lives lined up exactly as it needed to for the ease and flow of this transition in their lives. The universe is always conspiring in our favor. There was no doubt, absolutely zero doubt in their mind that this experience of creating the Center for Spiritual Living Kauai is a success. And it is a success. So they've been there, well, Patrick has been there for a couple months, but Rita just moved there 2 weeks ago. And they've already had their first class, which was quite successful. And they are now looking to have their first service. And they've started to build the community around them. I mean, we should all take that kind of, leap into the unknown, because that really does require faith. And any place where there is doubt, there is no faith. You only build from faith. You never build from doubt. Far too often, we think we're making demands, right? We think we're making demands, but the demands are conditional. Oh, and here's a good one. Demands being conditional. I am making a demand on the universe, but it's got to look like this. That does not create. It might create that, but I do believe that if it is not truly a demand built upon faith, because if you're saying it's got to look like this, there's actually, I believe, doubt within that says, I'm not open to the infinite universe showing up exactly as it needs to for my highest good. So, that may fall apart. Now, that may be the perfect expression of whatever it is you're looking for. But if you're looking for the thing and not the thing itself, to experience the thing itself, if that is the demand you're making upon the universe, and trusting that it shows up exactly as it needs to, it must demonstrate. It must show up. If you're experiencing, now this is one of the things that came up at the conference in Kamloops last week. If you are experiencing anything in your life that is conditional, you are living in the relativist point of view. This philosophy is an absolutist point of view. It's all or nothing. You either believe this or you don't. There's actually no gray area. You either believe it or you don't. You either believe that God is the sole creative source of your entire experience or you don't. Because any degree to which you don't fully trust that idea, you may find discord in your experience. And I'm not here to say that as like you must believe, you must have this, we are at choice. We are at choice. But this is what works. This is what I know works for me. And this is what I've discovered to be true for my life. And my life has expanded in incredible ways because of it. I mean, let's face it, I'm here with all of you. I mean, that's for me, the most incredible demonstration of my life was the day I graduated ministerial school, Toronto. Place I'd always wanted to live. Well, at least since 1997 when I first visited here. I'd always wanted to live here. And the universe conspired to make it happen when I made the demand upon the universe that said, this is how I choose to live my life. And I accept nothing less. There's absolutely zero doubt in my mind that my life unfolds perfectly at all times. Toronto. It really did show up just like that. So, with that in mind, as you make demands upon the universe in your own experience, consider embodying this paradigm. Make the demand, trust that it shows up no matter what. No matter what. As you state to yourself, I only experience love no matter what. I only experience joy no matter what. I see, Tom, you're trying to raise your hand, aren't you?
If I may.
Yeah.
Just a question. Is it all right to demand something of another's behavior? Or do we have no right to expect someone else to behave a certain way?
That's a great question. Is it okay to demand something of another person's behavior? Yes and no. No, because that person is an individualized expression of the divine, and you need to trust and know that they are on their perfect path. So, what you can demand upon the universe is a re-understanding. It's funny, I'm making this word up. A re-understanding of your own relationship to that person. Here's what happens. When you expect only love and harmonious relationships, no matter what, the universe will conspire to make sure that that's exactly what happens. Now, there's an infinite number of ways that that can show up. I'm going over today by just a little bit, not too much. Because they flash me numbers like, you have 10 minutes left, right? That may show up in infinite ways. It may show up that relationship has to end because it cannot sustain itself. Or it may show up that when you have changed your own mind about your relationship to that experience, the person will shift. But it's not about going after the change of that. You got to change this. You got to change this. Okay? And it's getting to that paradigm of no matter what. If we trust in these 7 attributes of God, love, light, life, peace, power, beauty, and joy, let's prove them, each and every one of us, in every experience that we have. By stepping into that understanding that I am love no matter what. I am light no matter what. I am life expressed fully no matter what. Everything in my life shows up as peace no matter what. Power is my birthright no matter what. Beauty is what I experience in all life no matter what. And my life is fully formed and filled with joy no matter what. If there is any room in your mind for doubt about those things being the truth of your experience, rethink them. That's the entire philosophy. That's the entire philosophy in a nutshell. You have the opportunity right here and right now to rethink your entire life. We set far too many limits on a power that is completely unlimited. We cannot stop the perfect flow of spirit always coming forth, always showing up. Oh my God, I'm turning into Michael Beckwith right now. It is always, always, always showing up exactly as it needs to without any stop to it. So if something is showing up in your experience that you do not like, it is up to you to change it. Did you see that? I did the Michael Beckwith leg. It is up to you to change it. Step away from the relatives. Get rid of your relatives. And you know that I actually do mean that literally. I've talked about it in class. If you need to get rid of your relatives, get rid of your relatives. Your blood relations are a circumstance in the world of form. This is really an important thing to understand, and this goes sort of to your, like we believe on some level we've been socialized in our culture to think that we need to hold on to blood relations as though they're going to always be there for us. They are not always. I've had so many experiences where blood relations are not there for you. It is up to you to set the tone of your life. Ernest Holmes writes this: in our individual world, we have the power and the knowledge to create individual experiences which make life worthwhile. And there is no limit. Really get that. There is no limit to the evolution of these experiences. If you really want to experience an unlimited, extraordinary life, you can. That's what I'm here to tell you today, because intelligent thought evolves. An individual tendency evolves. An infinite truth evolves. And to cap it off, in this concept of taking on the paradigm of no matter what, it is up to each and every one of us to step into the WIT, the W-I-T of it, and recognize that whatever it takes to change your mind is constructive and good. So step into it today. Do whatever it takes to prove this principle on a daily basis, minute by minute, millisecond by millisecond. It is up to every single one of you. That's the truth. That's what I stand for in this philosophy. And that is what I am so grateful that you've come to hear me yell at you about today. So today, make a decision to step into doing whatever it takes to trust in the pure, perfect evolution of your experience right here and right now. Namaste. Oh, yes, thank you. I'm glad that people keep me honest about the monitor. That's right. All right, so stepping into that understanding, stepping into this perfection of life that is flowing through each and every one of us. We're going to honor that right now through the act of our givingness as we do the offering. For me, and this is one of the things that we're studying in our Tuesday night prosperity class. For me, the act of giving is the perfect expression of the flow of the divine in all things. So I graciously give to this center personally. And this center graciously receives the gifts that you give to this center. And I trust and know that the board of trustees of this center, along with me, that we use these funds wisely. So I'm grateful to every single one of you for what you give today. So as we sing, we should read the divine givingness statement. On the back of your book, let's read together divine givingness as you hold what it is you have to offer, with the understanding that your gift is a creative aspect of this entire experience. I know that God is the source of all supply, and that money is God in action. I know that my good is here now. I claim an abundance of money to spare and share. I know that true prosperity includes perfect health, perfect wealth, and perfect happiness. I bless all that I have now, and I bless the increase. I give thanks for this good. I know that my gift today goes forward to heal and bless. I joyously contribute to the vision of this spiritual center and know that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. So we're going to, as the baskets go around, we're going to sing Infinite Love, which is on page 32 of your songbook.
1, 2.
And you can get up, stretch, dance. Infinite love flow through me. Infinite love flow through me. Infinite love flow through me. Help me to be all I can be. Infinite joy flow through me. Infinite joy flow through me. Infinite joy flow through me. Help me to be all I can be. Infinite peace flow through me. Infinite peace flow through me. Infinite peace flow through me. Help me to be all I can be. Infinite love flow through me. Infinite love flow through me. Infinite love flow through me. Help me to be all I can be. I'll invite Margaret Ann to do a blessing over our offering. Oh, you can clap if you want. Didn't mean to stop that.
I take a deep breath in this moment. I take this moment to recognize the infinite supply, the infinite love, the infinite joy that is absolutely everywhere present, and that is the essence of each and every one of us. I give thanks for this. I am grateful for this. And I acknowledge it and watch it grow and expand. And I am grateful to receive and to give in this moment. As I give, I know that this is part of the infinite and the ever-increasing law of giving and receiving. And I am grateful for these gifts in this basket and know that it is infinite supply, and it expands and grows. And as we receive, we share it. And know that it goes out from this center in perfection, in an infinite possibility. I am grateful for each and every person in this center, the gifts and the love and the talent and the enjoyment that each of us shares is perfect. In gratitude, I release these words to the law of mind, knowing that they are expanded and received. And together we say, and so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Margaret Ann. I want to thank Judy and Fred, who are our board members on duty today. Thank you so much for your service to the center and all that you are doing for us today. I want to thank everyone who helped make this service today possible. Linda and Kathy, who set up today, Christina and Judy, who are our greeters. Always lovely to have a nice smile greet you as you walk in the door. I want to thank Patricia in the bookstore, because I've also thrown some stuff at her today with like the new register. Like we've got new functions on the register that I've thrown at her today, and she's taken it all in very easy stride. So thank you, Patricia. I want to thank Carmen in the sound booth and Tony, who's ensuring that we go out to the world by our webcast. I want to thank Mark and Heather, who are downstairs with our dynamic kids. Woo-hoo! I want to thank Margaret Ann for your brilliant consciousness in bringing yourself with a capital S to the center today, as you always do. I want to thank Pierre Gautreau and the band. And I want to thank each and every one of you for bringing your consciousness to this place, which adds to a collective consciousness, which expands from this place. I'm getting there, which expands from this place into the world and shows up as beauty at all times, just as these flowers are beautiful. And I'm grateful to Linda Visosky for bringing the flowers and helping beautify our experience every single week. So thank you. Thank you, thank you. So let's take what we've heard today, even Michael Beckwith. And let's relax into a deeper understanding and a deeper embodiment of this thing that means no matter what is showing up is infinite truth evolving.
And in this understanding, we'll share together on page 2, be still and know. For at all times, The way to get to that deep place of wisdom is to recognize who you are, which is God. There is absolutely no separation between you and this divine creative energy. There is no separation between you and this infinite intelligence. It is always operating perfectly, easily, and effortlessly. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. I take this moment to be still. And in the stillness, remind myself of the truth of my being, that there is only one power. It is a constructive, healing force that is always unfolding, always in that upward spiral of perfect, pure evolution into greater expressions of itself. I trust in this life being expressed fully, unabashedly by means of each and every one of us in everything we think, say, and do. I trust and know that God is perfectly present right here and right now, and it is shown up beautifully dressed as us. I step into the next thing and the next thing in full faith and assurance that no matter what, life is unfolding in light. Life is unfolding in beauty. Life is unfolding in love. Life is unfolding in power. Life is unfolding in peace. Life is unfolding in joy. For life itself is unfolding. For there is only one life. That life is God's life, and that life is your life and my life right here and right now. Fully orbed, fully expressing in perfection. And so I simply give over to this in full trust that all that is required for the extraordinary life I choose to live aligns itself right here and right now. And I speak this word for every single person here, trusting and knowing that the extraordinary life that each of us chooses to live shows up perfectly. And so I simply allow it to do so in full gratitude, allowing myself to be filled right here and right now with gratitude. And in gratitude, I know that my word spoken is done. And so I simply let it be as I release it to a perfectly corresponding law. I trust that it shows up in form. This being the case, I simply relax, release, let go, and allow. As together we say, and so it is. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Let's sing, be still and know that you are God. Be still and know that you are God. Be still and know that you are. Be still and know that you are God. Be still and know. Let us
us all recognize we are God.
Be still and know that we are God. Be still and know that we are. Be still and know that we are God. Be still and know.
One more time.
Be still and know that we are God. Be still and know that we are. Be still and know that we are God. Be still and know. Be still and know. Be still and know.
And so it is. So we're going to kick this out into the street with Breathe the Same Air. If you want to sing along, it's on page 16 of your songbooks.
One, two, three, two, two, three.
Well, it's an idea whose time has come. A new generation decides as one. Of the same small planet we are born. It's never been so obvious before. We breathe the same air, drink the same water, walk the same earth, kiss the same sky. We breathe the same air, and I think we ought to get along better, you and I. The future of history is crystal clear. The borders between us will disappear. Of the same small planet we are born, and there's no foreign country anymore. We breathe the same air, drink the same water, walk the same earth, kiss the same sky. We breathe the same air, and I think we ought to get along better, you and I. Some say that I'm out of touch with the times, that this world is no place for a vision like mine. Well, still I can see it, and still I believe it. There's too many lives on the line. There's so many lives on the line. We breathe the same air, drink the same water, walk the same earth, kiss the same sky. We breathe the same air. I think we ought to get along better, you and I. We breathe the same air, drink the same water, walk the same earth, kiss the same sky. We breathe the same air. I think we ought to get along better, you and I.
Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you next time.